And guess what people are hearing? Blah, blah, blah. When you hear the words personal brand, you probably think of social media, websites, logos, fonts, colors, all the pretty things. But what if I said that you were wrong? At least partially wrong. A personal brand is you. If you don't know who you are, the logos, the fonts, the colors, and all the pretty things don't really matter. So God made each one of us uniquely different, which means there are over 500 unique brands in this room alone. Not only are we made different, but not one of us has traveled the same road. We were raised by imperfect people to be imperfect people, and what you've been through, I have not been through, or vice versa. A personal brand is not just what you do, it's who you are, it's what you stand for. It's how you show up in the world, it's how you dress, it's who you associate with, it's all a part of your brand. So, look at these three incredible people. Do y'all know who they are? Yeah. So you have got Ed Mylett, Rudy Reback, and Amy Potter. Three just average, ordinary people, right? What do they have in common? Well, let's talk about it. Well, Ed Mylett, I think of him, I guess I think of his generosity, his podcast. I love his podcast. I think of how his dad beat alcoholism. His daughter goes to Clemson. His son is a golfer. He loves tequila, cigars. He's got 3 Pomeranians. He has a house in California, an island in Maine. Like, I know Ed Mylett. Amy Potter. What do you instantly think of when you think of Amy? She just goes, oh. Well, I think of Pecos Potter. I think of those cheeks that I just want to squeeze. I think of ranching, I think of gardening, I think of DIY projects, I think of traveling to a beach, and I know she's a tight ass with money. Yeah, Rudy Reback. When I see his name, I smile. Maybe because he always has a smile on his face. He's super kind, he's humble, he is a man of his word. He loves NASCAR, flying planes, and my personal favorite is he loves really good wine. I love that. I love that. So 2 things I want to point out here. One of these is not like the other 2. That would be Rudy, because even though he doesn't have social media, well, he has it, but he doesn't post on it. Your personal brand isn't who you are on social media. It's who you are as a person. In this room right here is who you show up as. The second thing to point out is this, is not one thing that I mentioned was about what they sell. No mention of Ed Mylett's book that I bought 25 of. No mention of Amy slinging singular. And no mention of Rudy owning the best damn company that there is. Thing that I said was personal. People connect with people. People buy from people. It doesn't matter what business that you're in. If people don't connect, they don't buy. You attract people into your life with emotional, personal connection, which in turn, hopefully, attracts customers. Let's talk about how you can connect with people to build your brand. I love this. I found this interesting whenever I was doing a little research, that Pixar has 22 rules of storytelling when creating a movie. And the number 1 rule is this: people admire characters more for their struggles than their success. Why? Because we fail way more than we succeed. So it makes you that much more relatable. When people see someone who's already successful, they might admire them, but they don't always see themselves in that position. However, when someone shares their challenges, their failures, their doubts, their struggles, it reminds them that you're human just like they are. If someone only talks about their $1 million business, people are probably going to think, well, that's great, but that could never be me, because that was me. When you share the struggles behind your success, People see that success isn't about the talent, it's about the persistence, the resilience, and the growth. What if there were two speakers up here, and one says, I built a 7-figure business in 3 years? Right? What if the other one said, I didn't have any customers for 6 months. I wanted to quit. I cried more than I did not. I thought I might have made a mistake. But I tried something new, I learned something new, I learned from my mistakes, and I slowly built my brand and my business. And 3 years later, I have a 7-figure business. One might be a little more inspiring and a little more relatable. Well, if we want to talk about connecting with people, we're going to talk about being present. You can't connect if you're not there. So John and I lived in a very tiny little town in Texas, and about 15 minutes away was this great cafe that we would go to for lunch because I get really tired of cooking sometimes. And so we knew it was going to take a hot minute to, get our food because it was fresh and, it's nothing frozen. And so we would go over, drive 15 miles, and it never failed that most of the time, 3 times out of 5, they were closed. And we're like, okay, what the heck? They didn't say anything on their social media. They didn't, because that's what I go look. How do I know if they're open or not? And so they would always say later on, well, we had somebody sick, we didn't get our food in time, we were out of town, we just needed a break. And so guess what happened? We stopped going. The whole like, no trust factor? I loved the restaurant. I knew all about it, but I couldn't trust it to be open. And the same goes for your business. Can people count on your business and you to be open? Your business cannot be about you or what you're selling. You might sort of serve your audience, but what does it look like? You have got to provide more value, more help, more ideas, more laughter than ever before if you want to stand out. You can't just say, I launched this new program. No, or a new product, and here it is, go buy it. But instead, what if you've been struggling if you've been struggling with sleep, if you've been struggling with this, whatever. Here's how this helps you. You have got to use the word you more than I. You heard that yesterday. I struggled with self-doubt, but finally figured it out. But what if you've ever struggled with self-doubt? What if you've ever struggled with this? This is what's helped me, and I hope it can help you too. In this day and age, like I said, if you want to, you must be different if you want to stand out. And everyone's biggest question is, how? This is the part we all get hung up over. I'm not saying being different in a crazy way. I'm saying being different in a you way. We can all think of basic ways that we're different, but you're going to have to think a little bit deeper. Like, what makes you uncomfortable and a little awkward to talk about? Is it family dysfunction? Nobody probably has that, right? Is it money? Is it maybe that your car's not nice enough, so you think? Or maybe a time that you hit rock bottom. So, 8 years ago, I was working multiple different jobs, trying to make ends meet, pay the bills, all the things, and it was never enough. We were always overdrawn. We always waited for the next payday. And because of that, our marriage was definitely on the rocks. We lived about an hour and a half from a decent grocery store, and I remember loading the boys up and us going to stock up on groceries. And you live an hour and a half away, you're going to load up on all the things, right? And so we stayed there for an hour, and the cart was piled high, and we get up to check out. And my card was declined. And I didn't have a credit card. And so we drove home empty-handed. And I was mad, and I was embarrassed, and I felt like a failure. And I literally, that was rock bottom for me. And I can put myself exactly where I was at that time, every single time. And 8+ years later, I think about that. Share, what is your rock bottom moment? Do you have one? Be honest about how you felt and how you got through it. Showing others where you started versus where you are now just creates that emotional connection and credibility. Have you ever just lost everything and had to start over? A divorce, a job, financial crisis, or God forbid, a loss of a spouse or a child. During those times, did anybody give you any advice? Or maybe they didn't, and you wish they would have given you some advice. And those experiences are yours and yours alone. You have got the knowledge to help so many other people make it to the other side. People fear failure, but they admire resilience. Your resilience. Showing them how you rebuilt after a major setback will inspire them, teach them, and help other people. Share the moment when everything changed just like that overnight. Explain what you learned from starting over and inspire them to look at their challenges as new beginnings. Was anybody else ever just scared to death to even share when you got started? Just me? I was scared to death of not only what others were going to think, because I thought, could you even tell a difference in my picture? Could you not? I didn't want to be that person on social media. And so guess what happened? Whitney shared it for me and didn't even ask. Like, talk about make me sweat. I was sweating when she's like, oh, I already posted it. I was like, hey, go on. Guess what? It worked out for both of us. So many people hold back their ideas and their stories and opinions because of the fear of judgment. But when you share how you overcame it, it empowers so many other people to do the same. Talk about the moments you are afraid to speak up because of what others might think. Share what happens what happened when you finally found your voice, and encourage them to be bold and share their message too. In the wise words of Mel Robbins, to those who want to judge them, let them, right? It says way more about them than it does you. Your personal brand is a reflection of you, your story, your values, your voice, and no one else can tell it the way you can. Share it and let the world get to know the real you.